how are you feeling about the advancement, the light speed advancement of AI right now, and how it might affect your business? Are you nervous? Are you excited? Both? Kind of, and what do you foresee happening?
Well, from our perspective, it's the best, by far the best thing ever happened in our business and for our business.
Okay.
Large language model and the capabilities it has, it holds a huge potential for us. Shortly put, AI is like a kid coming from school. So if you have a kid who has gone through the North Korean schooling system, you have a kid who has gone through the US schooling system, and you ask the same question from both of these kids, you get different answer because they have a different context.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now in our business, we've been running the service now for like almost 10 years. We have hundreds of millions of messages that we've been brokering between the largest companies in the world, the biggest enterprises, largest service providers, and we have a library of like super complex logic.
Okay.
As a context, that's our IP.
Okay.
What we've been now doing is that we've been teaching AI with that context. So the next level for us is that everything will be like human to human. So through our interfaces and utilizing the context that AI can now, it's now like taught, it has learned it. You can just write like you try to chat GPT, and it provides you the right, like you have a complex use case with multitude of, integration points. You just write that I want to do this and this, and it can provide you the solution in a flick of a button. Like it's amazing. It's like, and that's our IP, is the context. Nobody else has that.
I see. Okay, very good. Is that, would a comparison to what you just said on a tiny scale, would it be, I guess this would be an analogy, maybe a comparison. So I built a little GPT that was called Steve Urban's Career Advice, and I put the transcripts from our books. We've launched a couple of books. I put the transcripts from all the podcast episodes that I've done on career advice and stuff, and I fed it into the GPT. Is that
exactly? That's your context. That's your context.
Okay.
That is your IP, and now it's utilized by AI, and it provides huge value because in our space, actually applies to your example as well. That there's so, like in your case, I'd guess that there's so much information that it's humanly impossible to consume everything and learn it by heart just like that.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
You have question, you want to utilize the context.
Bingo.
So with us is that the logic is so complex that it's humanly impossible to manage such a complex logic, but AI can do it. It's perfect tool for that. And the best thing is that we are not stealing anyone's IP. That's our IP. And that goes into the risks of and challenges that AI now has, that most of the stuff is kind of a stolen, at least from European perspective. It's somebody else's IP.
It's tricky. Tricky waters.
It's a little bit tricky. And but if you think about YouTube, when YouTube started, it was mostly stolen content.
Yeah, it's true.
Videos, like people were broadcasting somebody else's content, somebody else's IP. And that's how it took it off. So maybe it needs a little bit of this, like gray area.
What do you think? I'm not a doomsdayer or anything like that, so don't get me wrong. I don't think Sarah Connor is coming for Terminator or anything. But do you think, like, let's use Elon Musk for example, or some of the other folks that are predicting some sort of universal pay because robots will do everything.
Yeah.
Do you foresee that? Juha, do you think we will eventually live in a society where there's just a universal pay because robots and technology are doing most of the work and humans are just enjoying their, I don't know,
whatever
hobbies or whatever? I mean, what do you think is going to happen?
I guess that um, there's always a need for sort of somebody to look into the decision from the human perspective. And I guess that humans are still needed. I think the best quotes that I've seen is that AI won't take your job, but somebody who can utilize AI will take your job.
Yeah.
So that's sort of what we're going to. But if you think of from the positive perspective, as at least in the Western societies, we've been telling hundreds of years almost now, like you need to be able to read, to be educated, to be so like leveling your status in society. And now, just by speaking with AI, you don't need to be able to read.
Yeah. And all you got to do is be able to ask the question. You just have to be able to ask the question.
Exactly. And think about how many like hundreds of millions of women, for instance, who are not allowed to go to school, and the kids are not allowed, the girls are not allowed to go to school because they want to keep them in their, where they are.
Yeah.
And now we have these tools and utilization that you don't really have to it democratizes the world in the best case.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But of course, the downside is this like a doomsday, computers taking over, but maybe it's part of the evolution. Then, if we cannot cope this, then we are not. Are we really in the right spot in the food chain?
It's interesting. It's a fascinating time to be alive. It really is. I'm 57, so I'm kind of hoping it hurries up because I want to see what happens before I die. Right? I want to be like, oh, I want to kind of see my granddaughters. I have 2 granddaughters, and so they're going to experience things that I probably can't even really imagine right now. I'm guessing. But it is going to be fascinating to see what happens. I kind of think, I feel like, tell me what you think of this prediction. I don't know, we're almost out of time here. I feel like there's going to be this massive short-term, immediate disruption where it's going to eliminate some jobs. It's going to create some chaos in the workforce until kind of the dust settles with new jobs and creation and universal pay or whatever's going to happen. So there's going to be this, I feel like there's going to be this weird short-term fucked up messiness until it kind of settles in. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if I'm right, but
yeah, we as humans, we don't really have a really good track record of bringing all the people on the same wealth level. We've been really good at putting everybody on the same poor level of the world, but I think it's a little bit built in that there will be this sort of levels of people who are on the top of the top dogs, and they will utilize and they will benefit, and then 1% of the wealth goes to them.
You're right, and that is the scary part. Yeah. Who controls the information flow? That's the part that makes me nervous.
And because we already have the capabilities to stop world hunger, but we don't do it.
Exactly.